So mitosis, if we look at this, this is a typical question on mitosis and the cell cycle. Okay, so if we look at this diagram, we can see here that the whole cell cycle is 360 degrees. Okay, and that mitosis itself only represents a more small part of it. And stage 3 here is called cytokinesis. Okay, which is the cells splitting apart. So let's remind ourselves about what mitosis is. So we start off with a cell. For example, a human cell is going to have 46 chromosomes. And the definition of mitosis is cell division which produces two genetically identical cells. Two genetically identical daughter cells. Okay, so we are going to get two cells which both have 46 chromosomes. Now, how does that happen? Well, if we're going to make two cells, if we think about the actual cell we start off with, it's going to have a nucleus with the DNA in. It's going to have mitochondria, which are the site of aerobic respiration. It's going to have ribosomes, which are the site of protein synthesis. It's going to have a cell membrane, and it's also going to have cytoplasm, where chemical reactions happen. Now, we need to make two identical copies of that. So if we're going to make two identical copies, we clearly need to copy everything. So we're going to copy the DNA. We are going to make twice as many mitochondria. We are going to make twice as many ribosomes. We are going to make twice as much cytoplasm. Okay? And so in order to do that, we need to grow and copy. And so as we go through this answer here, asking for one change that occurs in a cell during each of the stages above, let's go through the process to make sure we can nail this. So in this section here, before we get to mitosis, which is the cell division part with stage 3, we've got growth of the cell because it needs to be made bigger. We've got DNA is copied. We've got organelles, okay, are increased. And why not? If this was a 6 marker, name them: mitochondria, ribosomes, cytoplasm. Okay, and that is all happening in this stage 1. We then come to stage 2, and stage 2 is the mitosis part. Now, in mitosis, what happens is the DNA which has been copied. So I'm going to go, the DNA that's been copied. I'm only going to do 2 chromosomes here, okay, is in the cell, okay, and what it does is, I'll do one more actually, so you can see that it's all a bit haphazard. So here is the DNA that's been copied. It actually lines up, okay, it lines up on the middle of the cell. So DNA lines up in mitosis, okay, and then what's going to happen is the DNA is going to be, for each copy, is going to be pulled to separate sides of the cell, okay, so we're going to end up with this. Okay, and that is the process of mitosis. Now what happens is a nucleus reforms around the DNA, and then stage 3 is this thing called cytokinesis, or cell division. And so what's going to happen is that the cells are going to split to produce 2 genetically identical cells. So there is our stage 1, 2 and 3 of the cell cycle. This stage here is the mitosis. where the chromosomes line up in the middle and then split and then nucleuses form, 2 new nucleuses. This stage is cytokinesis, which is the cell splitting, and this stage is where DNA is replicated, the organelles double in number, and the cell grows in size. Okay, hope that helps.